Welcome to The Random Show. Inside knowledge on TV, pop culture, and game shows with the executive producer of Let's Make a Deal and The Price is Right, Mike Richards. Joined by me, Beth Triffin, the shortest moral compass on podcasts, according to Mike. And now, The Random Show.
Welcome to The Random Show. I'm Mike Richards. Sitting right over there is...
Oh, jeez. Really?
It's Beth Triffin.
Yay!
And sitting in with us today because he's a mensch.
Nice.
His George Gray.
George Gray eating some chicken.
Here it comes. It's George Gray.
Yay!
Do you ever want to say George Gray? Come on out. He's the announcer of The Price is Right among many other accolades. Not the least of which was selling me a 1979 Pontiac Trans Am. That may be your biggest. Is that your proudest professional achievement?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is, really.
I don't. That doesn't surprise me. He's eating chicken. You can hear it in the microphone. It was delicious.
Chicken.
Because we are taping this in between Prices Rights. We do two Prices Rights a day, and so George was kind enough on his lunch break to come over here and eat and be on the podcast.
Kind
day to be
enough,
proud of.
demanded to, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really.
It was a request.
Hostage in the golf cart.
Weird thing when your boss says, hey, would you come over?
Oh, come on. It's fun. You love it.
I do. You know
You
what? Actually,
love it.
I've gotten to do this 2 times so far, and I've had a blast both times.
And we said every time you come on, we're like, we should have him on more.
And
He's
then
like
he
the
does
best.
not.
No, and then we say, you're on.
Oh.
Now, we had to postpone this podcast
Right.
because for the last 2 days, you have been sick as a dog. There's a little food poisoning.
Oh, it was brutal. If you have never had food poisoning, I don't recommend it.
No,
It
that's
is
not
the
something
worst.
you wouldn't run out and go, it's fun.
Well, because if you read on the internet, the flu and food poisoning look the same, but when it's not the flu.
Without making me throw up, what's the difference?
Your body tells you that what you ate was a very bad thing, and it
Yeah.
just lets you know in no undefined terms that you shouldn't have done it.
And did you know right away what it was that made you sick?
Well, it says it's usually 2, 6, 8 hours after. I'm pretty sure I'm throwing it on the fruit. See, and that's if I would have just eaten some fried chicken or something like that, or drank a beer for breakfast, I would have been fine. But no, I went healthy.
See, he's been trying to Beth. He's been trying to lose weight. Although I think he always looks good. Seriously, I think.
Honey.
But you've been running. You've been trying to lose weight, and so this was all part of that effort. And the way he was repaid was food poisoning.
But see, that got the
Violently
last
ill.
couple pounds you probably wanted off, right? That's the silver
No,
lining.
I'm still working at it. But you know what? It was great because everybody pitched in, and Adam, our director, said, Who? I know. I've never heard of him. Harrison covered for me in reading during the rehearsal, and so everybody's really nice pitched in, so I could curl up feetally on the couch.
But what you don't understand is what he's saying is he still did the show.
Yeah,
So he still came out. I was like, is he
course.
going to be able to do the show? And I know the answer because I've known you forever.
Of course.
That there was literally he would be half dead and be like, here it comes.
So did you ever have to walk away from the podium and hurl?
Well, here's an industry term for anybody listening. It's called 10-100, and that means leave temporarily to go to the restroom is what it means. It's the nice term for it.
Right.
And so
Instead of going, I got to pee, man.
yeah. So I had to announce a very immediate 10-100 at one point during the show.
Oh, you did.
So that
But
was,
and if you come to a taping, and please, if you can, come to a taping, Beth. Swing by. See the show tape.
Yeah.
No.
It's an enormous amount of energy that George expends because not only did he go out and kind of warm up the crowd, explain the rules, what we want you to do, where you wanted to go, but then he does
Just say all those things.
he's doing all of that stuff, and then he goes and he announces the show perfectly, and then he goes and dies in between.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm not going to be able to come to the second rehearsal. And we're like, yeah, fine, dude. I can't believe you're still out there. Comes back and does it again. So that was Monday. Monday was particularly bad.
yes.
Tuesday, still not good.
No, Tuesday. I think the worst was the second show. Monday was terrible. I thought I was going to actually spend the night here on Monday night because I didn't think I could get in my car to drive home.
We could have driven you home.
You know what? And there was a couple of offers made. Josh, our head utility, offered
I
to
wouldn't
drive
go
me
with
home.
him, especially on a motorcycle.
If I didn't have a cat, that is funnier for more reasons than we can explain right now.
Josh got hit by a truck
Yeah.
on his motorcycle that George
Then I sold
him.
Yeah.
Is that your greatest
I shouldn't sell vehicles
accomplishment?
to anybody. Really.
No.
Just a bad idea.
That is his greatest
So
compliment.
he was so nice and said he offered me
He's
a
the
ride
nicest
home.
guy,
If I didn't have to feed my cat and feel responsible for my little buddy, I would have just stayed here. I couldn't move, and so I was really bad. The second show Monday, and then the first show Tuesday was really bad too. I started to come out of the clouds a little bit second show, but not much. And then it's weird. I slept 15 hours Monday night, 13 hours last night, and I feel
yeah.
fine.
Now I could tell
Totally
when you
fine.
walked in this morning that you felt like George again.
Yep,
Because
totally fine.
seeing George at, I'm going to say you were at, not on the shows. At shows, 100%. But between the breaks,
4%.
I'm going to go. No, I'm going to go 60%. And but George at 60% is still way above everyone else in energy. So he comes, but when he doesn't come bouncing in and he just comes striding in, you know something's terribly wrong with the man. And but here's the message, kids.
Oh,
He was so sick. He went and threw up in the middle of a show, and you couldn't tell it during the show. I heard gravel in your voice once, and I think it was when you had just said, "I'll be right back," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
it was. I'll be right back.
No, it was like here. It was like, there was just a little cough in it. I was like, "Oh, buddy, you're so sick. It's so terrible." Because usually I get on and heckle him on the headset so he can hear me.
We're thinking about that. Is there an understudy? Is there an announcer?
Well, it used to be Scott Robinson. I always wanted Scott to announce the show once because he would always fill in.
Yeah,
especially when
rehearsal.
Yeah, and rehearsal.
You know who would? You know who would? I've never thought of it till this very moment. And first of all, I would never allow it because you would have to drag my dead carcass out of there. I would actually. You could kill me, and I would somehow do the.
Yeah,
The
here
ghost
it
of
comes.
George.
Yeah, you just press on my chest. Is Mike Richards actually?
Oh,
You
Oh,
know what?
geez.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now,
I don't
could-
have
How
the
did
pipes.
We know
Well, no,
that's
the
where
First of all,
that
it's a
was
lie,
going?
and you've been. I mean, we started together in the business
yes.
as comedians and hosts, and you still work at it. You still do it.
Yeah.
You know the show better than almost anyone else. Could you, in theory, because you watch the show while it's being taped, couldn't you just watch it from the podium?
I'm sure in a emergency worst case scenario, that is probably what would happen. And we would just pick up a lot. There's a thing, though, when you're the executive producer, that if I mess up one line,
You're dead.
I'm dead.
I would give you grief for the rest of your life.
And you know how hard it is, and you took to it very easily, but I know how difficult what you do is. I'm probably one of the very few people that actually grasp just how difficult it is to read that much copy and not F up 29 to 30% of it.
That's fudge for you kids listening.
Yeah. So I would be weary of doing it because of the beating because I'm never going to get through a show
Right,
without
right.
screwing something up. Just Drew would pounce on it. Then Adam, the director, would be in my ear making fun of me. Then George from his casket would be like, "What was that?" I couldn't hear you. George from his casket. We'll pick it up. So
I actually thought about George today because I had an audition this morning for a phone company, and I had to say things like unlimited text and like 10 gigabytes of.
you didn't say it like that,
Whatever. I
did you?
don't
Because you
say it
sound
like that,
constipated.
do I?
No, I meant like no, you don't say it like that. That's the thing. Is I was looking. I had to say like 4 lines
gonna
of
say you didn't book
technical
that job.
jargon, and I thought George does this all the time.
Yeah, and makes it sound good.
Yeah.
So I probably could do it. I would avoid it at all costs because of the absolute thrashing I would take, deservedly, from not being able to
No,
do
it
it
is
perfectly.
definitely. I feel like the
What is
hardest
it
job.
with you?
That'd be
What is it
amazing.
with you lately, Beth, and having to do like technical things? Because she was at CES,
Yeah.
where you were a booth hooker. What is it?
No,
What's
oh
the
my
term?
God, what is wrong? No, a booth babe, but I
booth babe.
wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't have to like.
She was a booth hooker,
Still-
and so it was like, "Hey,
Oh,
you want to hear about
Lord.
my robot?"
Yeah,
and
I had to
the thing I'm trying to
explain
sell.
robotics.
Well, did they make you dress all
No, they
slinkily?
didn't.
They dressed her
Praise
in a
Jesus,
in a
I did
in a
not.
piece of tinfoil. And if you're at CES, you don't believe in Jesus. Hello, science.
No, I had to look like pretty much like what the Apple Store people wear. But like every booth around us, don't get me started. I felt like it was a horrible event. But every other booth around us was like girls in
The
like
Golden
8-inch
Apple, you mean the comic book store up on
No,
Beverly?
like
oh,
the
you mean the
Apple
Apple?
store.
Oh, okay, sorry.
like cutouts over people's chestises and like 8-inch heels and like short skirts.
Now that sounds terrible. I would much rather see somebody dressed in khakis in an Apple T-shirt.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I'm
see,
your
Beth-
girl.
yes. See, Beth felt that it was very sexist.
It was a sexist event. I
Yeah,
felt.
you're right. They don't hire guys. That's terrible.
Yeah,
a lot of
thank
unemployed
you.
dudes
Thank
out
you,
there.
George. Thank
of
you.
Yeah, I
dudes.
agree with that. They didn't hire me. I didn't
wrong.
get $750
Mike,
to go to
we had
Vegas.
a big old debate on whether it was sexist.
I would
or
have
not.
dressed
You
it like a
could not
whore,
underst-
just like you did.
Whatever.
What?
What?
Excuse me?
You?
I would have worn the
last
tinfoil
week,
suit.
You were not. You were like, I don't understand how that's.
He's
sexist
not
at all.
saying it's you missed it. He's not saying it's sexist because of the way they were dressed. He's saying it's sexist because they didn't hire men to do
I
it.
flipped it the other way around.
I'm agreeing with that. That's totally.
I would have
great.
worn something sexy if they wanted
Exactly.
to.
I'll put on a tube top for $800.
Yeah.
Well, that's
basically what Beth did.
You know?
Yeah.
Quit your yapping. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
I was happy about it because I didn't have to do it. I just thought the other.
There was a guy that sued Hooters because he couldn't be a server.
Oh, really?
Said it was sexist, and I was like,
That is just genius.
awesome.
It's about
See, look
time.
at you,
Fantastic.
and now you have a male model.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
I'm really a man of this millennium. I mean, I'm really a trailblazer in
Right.
the way of sexism. What?
Yeah. No, you're a pioneer.
I agree with you. Hey, so we're going to talk to Kaylin Allen, who was on The Price is Right and who had maybe our favorite moment so far this year. Kaylin won her prizes and ran over to a youngster named George Gray, may have caught her foot just a smidge, and may have ended up with her face in his lap.
Now, see,
And
that's unfair because a lot of people are saying that she tripped and on the rug and flew towards me. You know what? Why can't it be that she was just excited to see me?
Yeah, well,
Why can't it be that?
you know what? Let's ask her.
I love how you're trying to figure out how to
I have, like,
praise,
no comment.
praise that on a podcast.
My boss might listen to. Okay, yep. I don't know, George. I think she tripped.
I think she was happy.
No, she was very happy, and that got a ton of play. So we're going to talk to Kaylin about her experience, and she is hysterical about it and funny. And then we've got a Beth story ever told, and I want to talk about the Grammys really quick because we're pretty deep into the podcast already, Beth.
Uh-oh.
Did you watch the Grammys?
I watched the clips that Jen sent me.
Wow.
I watched the Grammys.
Did you watch the Grammys? Why didn't you watch the Grammys? As a millennial, that doesn't... Are you a millennial? We're trying to figure... How old are you?
Yeah,
You're
we're
34?
millennials.
Are you 35?
I'm not a millennial then, no.
No, what are you? How old are you?
I'm
Do you-
28.
Oh, so you're a millennial. You're right at the ragged edge of it. You're the mama of the millennials.
Yeah, I guess so.
And is that something that millennial women just aren't interested in?
You know, I
about
don't know.
Lorde?
I feel like I feel like I don't do the Grammys because you watch all those other award shows, you know, and
No,
the Grammys like
no, I
not
don't.
important.
See,
to
I
me.
like the Grammys better than all the other ones because at least something happens.
Something
in them.
happens.
Okay, you know
Yeah.
what? This is a true story. I don't normally watch that kind of stuff, but my friends, my friend Kevin Carter, KFC, he tour manages for Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, wow.
And so I've
And they played with Nine Inch Nails
and
almost
so I
for an
waited
entire
the whole
song.
show to see them play. But I tell you what, here's
And
what's
then it
great
got cut short.
is the Grammys made me feel so old because I swear to God, except for the Yiddish accent that I'm now going to do, this is exactly what I said. So Daft Punk is a bunch of robots? Two stormtroopers just beat out everybody else? How do you gotta feel if a stormtrooper in a white plastic suit beats
doesn't
you?
talk?
I swear to
Who
God,
doesn't
that's what
talk?
I was
Yeah.
sitting there. I said, I'm a 90-year-old Jewish man yelling at the television. This is art and entertainment. I was really doing that. I was like, are you kidding me?
Who is this Lordy?
And actually, and my friends were in the room. I'm like, have these guys been around? Like they've been around forever.
Ever.
Like,
I'm actually surprised you don't remember them
Lord-
from like the 2007 incarnation.
the
of
plastic
that.
robots. No, I
Yeah,
did not.
but I mean they were huge when we were younger and more relevant.
They were bigger robots.
guys-
They were Transformers.
Lorde is a child. Did you know?
She's never going to be a royal.
Okay, first of all, you know what? Not 17. She's like 45 years old.
not
I was thinking it. You're thinking it.
17.
There's
Oh yeah,
no
let's-
way.
But I was listening on the radio. They actually pulled her records from New Zealand, and which you pay like $17, and they confirmed that she is 17. But it does make you wonder what is she going to look like when she's 35?
Wow.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yikes!
Oh my
There's
Lord.
no way.
I've never seen a plastic surgeon in my face. Yikes!
It's crazy.
And that was another one where she was doing all the dancing and the weird twitching thing, and I was like, "What's going on there?"
I do like the song.
And
Oh, that's
no,
amazing.
I do not.
I like
oh my
the song.
God,
I
you
do
don't
not.
like it?
No, it's
Was that the first
terrible.
time you'd heard it?
Yes.
Wait,
Well-
Royals?
It's actually a great song.
No, it's
Such a great
not.
song.
No, it's not.
I
Yeah.
relate to the Queen Bee line. I always like.
Because you want to be a queen bee.
I could be a queen bee. I know.
Wait, can you sing that for me, please?
No.
Do it.
No.
Go ahead.
No.
I don't understand why she's eschewing all of the things I love so much.
What do you mean?
She
all
loved Kettle
the
One,
oh,
Gold
yeah.
Tigers on a Leash.
She doesn't like Kettle One.
Cadillac.
I would
She-
love Gold Tigers.
And
on a
and by the
leash.
way, Lord, by the way, nobody wants a Cadillac anymore.
She bad mouths.
No, the whole thing about millennials
Yeah.
and this song
Yes.
is kind of the encapsulation of the entire movement is millennials, especially the girls, but the guys too, are so disenfranchised by how poorly the economy has been run, by family strife that's been caused by it, and the fact that no one can get a job
Right.
when they come out of school. They're completely, this is my take on it, disenfranchised And so now they have no aspirations to the very things that get people like you and I out of bed every morning, which is I want nicer stuff. I want to be a success. I want a career. I want the satisfaction of world dominance. All right, maybe not everybody has that one. And the millennials are like, you know what, I'm good. As long as I can eat and get by and maybe go to a Lorde concert and have a basket.
Buy a Prius.
Yeah, or a used Prius. Or a Yaris. But it's not that they are young and they don't have money. It's that they're young and they don't want money. They don't aspire to that.
Yeah, wait till they hit 35.
Well, this is my sister, who I love. I swear, hit about 35, 36 and had always kind of eschewed money and went, man, being poor sucks. I was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. But
is it eschewed or eschewed?
I think it's eschewed, isn't it?
Eschewed.
Eschewed? Is it? It's not eschewed?
No, sir, it's not.
Wow,
It's
did I
eschewed.
just misspeak?
Yeah.
You know what I love about being in charge of the podcast?
You can delete something.
Edit.
It's gross. Edit.
So anyway, and then now she's trying to make money, and
Right.
it makes sense. Would you agree with my assessment of the millennials?
I think I actually would. Yeah, I do sort of agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they want to be. I feel like they kind of want to, like the way my friends describe Europe. Like you're wealthy enough just to get what you have, but you never have excess. Do you know what I mean?
That changes with time. I mean, this is not the first generation. In the late 60s, everybody was hippies and wanted to just like, let's sit around and have free love. And then they hit 45 years old, made a big paycheck, saw the taxes they got taken out, and instantly became a Republican. So the fact is like times change with your life. And when you're 18, you don't need much.
I was well read and conservative way before 45.
Okay.
Before I made money, because I understood how the world worked.
But you remember when we started out, you and I, when we were young and hungry host comedians, like I just nothing but top ramen. I mean that's
you
what
just
it
got
was.
by,
and it was fine. I was totally cool with it. You were totally.
But you
cool
were
with it.
But the difference is they're eating top ramen, and they're cool with it in perpetuity right now. And you and I were eating top ramen, going someday I will eat a top sirloin as a snack. Between top sirloins.
Someday I'm putting chicken in this top ramen.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm going to eat some fruit, and it's going to make me yak all over the place. And that's what's interesting. They're a tougher group to motivate at work because you fire them, and they go, I'll never be royals. Like they're just out.
You can call me Queen Bee.
I would never, but I will rule.
Okay.
You
think
know
that
I mean?
though? You think that?
They don't care about. I know it. They don't care about being, because we have them, and I employ a number of people, and they are not afraid necessarily of being fired because the unemployment benefit is so extravagant per week right now. You even said it to me once. You were going to make more money not working and collecting unemployment than you were when you went back to work at one point. And I started.
I think
to
I've
throw
seen a
things at
dark
the wall.
side of you just now.
Well, I'm trying to think if I ever said that.
Yeah, you did. You were like,
no,
no,
I said I'd
I'm
make
not
more.
About the same. But that's and then
I was surprised at how much I qualified for. I will say that.
Yes.
Because I've thought, okay, I'm going to get like $100 a week or something.
No, it's
like
a lot
that.
of money,
and
you don't pay tax
shocked
on it
about
until you go
that.
back to work. You have to reverse pay it. But and they don't aspire to the big thing that to be a success in the working world, you have to be so driven and so motivated every day that if you don't really care, then it's hard to get up for it.
But I feel like I deal with a lot of really motivated, hardworking people my age or younger.
Your actor friends?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
That was a slam that you didn't even know happened.
No, but I mean, like, I'm serious.
Because when I think about hardworking, and this is a
I
generalization.
don't have just actor friends. I only have like 2 actor friends.
Right.
I'm not really friends with a lot of actors.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because when I think of some of the actors in town, I think of people that are not the most motivated bunch, but
maybe
that
that's
are
why I
at
only have
Starbucks waiting to be discovered and get paid an enormous amount of money instead of doing anything
I guess
to
I'm talking
earn
about
it.
the type of people that like the young, like wannabe producers and like that sort of thing, and like writers.
Do
and,
you
like,
know
stuff
people
like
in their
that.
mid-20s like that are that driven?
Oh my God! Yes, of course I do. Completely.
Interesting.
People who are out there pounding the pavement.
This
with their
is
own
not
work.
what's happening in the millennial movement, I'm telling you. And in fact, I just had someone from a
This-
cable network who is
people
programming for millennials, and they're like, they don't like anything. They don't like they don't like conflict. They love their friends. They love their families because they all live with them because none of them have jobs because work is hard, and they care about spirituality,
See,
but not
I'll
religious
tell
spirituality.
you about the millennials.
And he's like, how do you program for them?
I have something to say.
Okay. Well, we're out of time. What I want to do now is
I do think that millennials are not willing to take. I think we were all raised to think that we were so special and so individual that we were going to make such a difference, and that's why I think a lot of millennials have issues in middle management jobs because early jobs because they want to be and are trained to be the visionary.
I think the word you're looking for is entitled.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think it's a little
because
bit of the issue of how we were raised.
Yeah,
though.
no, this is the first generation that was like,
not that I'm
my
blaming.
God. No, oh my God, he just threw up. You're the best thrower-upper I've ever seen. Or
everybody gets an award
everybody
today.
gets a trophy. Oh, when they did that.
Everybody gets a trophy.
I told my son when he's like, I got a trophy. And I was like, for what? He's like, for my baseball. And I was like, well, you guys don't even keep score. How did you get a trophy? And he goes,
my Lord, Mike.
And he goes, everyone got a trophy. And I go, well, it's not really. If everyone got it, that was just you just showed up, and so you got a trophy. And he was like, well, that's true. It's not really that special. And I go, well, not really. I mean, it's a trophy, but
when you and I grew up, second place was first loser.
That, by the way,
oh my God,
I'm 38. Second place still is first loser.
Yeah,
that's how that goes.
And you know what? Even saying that, there's people listening going, what a terrible way of looking at the world.
No. Yeah,
but you know what the truth is that's the fire in your belly.
I want to win.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I think the millennials, though. That's why I think they have problems starting out and being in little jobs because they have been trained and they have been schooled that they are the best and they have something really unique to offer the world. So they want to be the visionary for that.
They don't.
They don't.
They're just like everyone else.
I'm not agreeing with you. I'm just saying I think that generally that's
I agree.
the thought.
I totally agree with you on that. I mean, on it was the parenting and then the society and then they hit the bad economy when they graduated. And I mean, because when I graduated from college, it was the same thing. You came out and the economy just rolled over and died. I mean, it was just like, and every one of us had been told, you're going to come out and make $100,000 a year. Because private high school, elite high school, okay college, but private college, we spent a lot of money to go there anyway. And everyone figured, hey, I'm going to go get hired by Ernst & Young and be an accountant and go right to it, make $100,000 a year. And they came out, and we were just talking about this the other night at my house. I made $13,000 that first year.
Yeah.
And I worked probably 90 hours a week to pull off the $13,000. And it didn't exactly rocket through the roof the second year.
It wasn't like just, a tough year.
No, because the next year I made 17, and I know I worked every day, and I know I had 2 jobs at one point. I mean, that's just what it took. But I always figured I'm going for the long ball. I'm going to be, at some point, overpaid, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But the millennials don't have that.
And here we are.
Which is why, Bisgrove, clear the rest of the day. I'm going to go get boozed up and talk about how much money I make. So it's an interesting...
I'll still be here
yeah.
with no money.
Eating top ramen. But you want to make money. Not as bad as I do.
Yeah.
It doesn't motivate you like it motivates me.
No.
And I know it motivates George because George likes stuff too. But it doesn't motivate you, which is so frustrating.
But it motivates me.
Not like it does me.
Not you, but in the sense where I...
That was not nice.
Not you. But yeah, no, I know. Yep. Do we need to move on?
Well, what I was going to say is I know someone who was motivated by prizes and possibly a strapping young man named George Gray. I've been wanting to get the two of you together ever since. Well, he's just delicious. So let's find out.
I wish you could see that I'm posing down right now.
Yes, he just put a bunch of Crisco on his body, and now he's flexing, which is
butter
super
flavored.
Uncomfortable. Is there butter flavored Crisco?
There is. It's gross.
Let's get Kaylin on. All right, here she is. I think maybe the star of one of our most famous YouTube videos to date, and someone who got us an enormous amount of press just by her foot speed. Kaylin Allen is on. Kaylin, welcome to The Random Show. How are you?
Yay.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Kaylin, I haven't seen you since you were in my lap.
I know, right? The fall heard around the world, right?
I meant to call the next day, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't. I just got very busy.
You son of a bitch.
Felt like we shared a moment, and then I was
and just nothing. And then just nothing. So, Kaylin, I know you have seen the clip at the of when you did. Now let's settle a score here. Did you actually trip, or did you just thrust yourself at George?
I believe that you did not trip.
I tripped.
I don't believe that's
true. I didn't even see the rug there, honestly. Like I was running across the stage.
No, that's his hair.
Yeah, and I know who BS is. and I'm like running across the stage, not picking my feet up, and the next thing I know, I'm falling, and I'm trying to catch myself, and it's like, oh my gosh, well, I just better keep on going, So
now, Kaylin, let's not lie in public here. You know as well as I do that carpet is about as thick as a piece of paper. There's no way you could trip over that. Just admit it. You ran towards me
because I'm very, very close.
The magnetism just like drew you in. It was like the Death Star to the Millennium Falcon. You stood no chance.
Tractor beam
straight into my belt. It's just what happened.
Once he gets out behind that booth, you just are like, wow.
Well, that's why we have him behind that huge podium.
He's just like,
it's actually a lead line. If you hear it closely, as you're coming into me, you can hear.
Yeah.
You can hear that.
There's nothing you can do about it. Now, and Kaylin, what I love is that you actually you tripped, you started to fall, you caught yourself, and then you tripped again, and that's what made you fall into George.
So. I think that's what happened. Yeah, because we played it over a couple of times, and you can kind of see me kind of catching myself, and then I just kind of lost my footing again, and just.
Oh, I wish you could have seen
down,
it. I wish that they had a camera, Kaylin, from my angle, because it was just so precious, because you had the look of just utter complete joy on your face, just sheer human joy, and then the trip is like what? And then the second trip, and then your eyes just went. I don't think your eyes have ever been that wide in your life, because you knew what was going to happen. That it was inevitable. It was awesome.
Probably not.
Were you, George? Were you standing in front of a TV? Were you? Standing
You know what? And
I can't believe you didn't go through the TV.
Well, actually,
which would have been amazing, by the way.
Kaylin, if you watch, I actually at the very last second kind of grabbed the top of your body and pulled you down on purpose, because I knew that otherwise you and I were going back through a TV set and we'd really make the news.
Exactly.
God, I would have so glad, as long as no one got hurt, I would have so gladly had you guys gone through the TV.
I can't believe I fell.
So when you finished, the fall, and then one of my favorite parts is that we had guest model Chrissy
She was
Teigen
amazing.
go over and actually give George. Yeah, she came over and grabbed you and just started to protect you.
She picked her up. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I thought the funny part was Chrissy goes over there and picks her up, and Rachel's just stands there and is like,
and they're like, okay,
this is awkward.
Well, what are you gonna do? It already happened, so
there's nothing you can do about
yeah.
it. And did it occur to you that at that time or at some point that day that this would become a YouTube moment?
Oh, I knew it was going to go on YouTube, because they put everything on YouTube. They have music videos and tutorials and pranks and stuff like that. So I knew it was going to go on YouTube. But yeah, it was on Fallon. It was on CNN in the morning. It was on CBS News. My brother saw it on Fox News.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was
Huffington there are blogs
Post.
all over the internet about it.
Yeah,
so.
Time.com, Deadspin. I mean, it literally was everywhere.
Everywhere. It was even on Time Magazine's website, which threw me off, because that's a current event magazine.
That's a serious.
That's a real person magazine.
Now here's what I want to say, and this is 100% true. You're right that if that would have been on a show, you knew it was going to get on YouTube, because it's such a great YouTube moment. But here's something you don't realize is a lot of those crazy things that happen hit the cutting room floor, and they're decided by the powers that be to never be seen.
Right.
And when I walked back to my podium after that happened, you were okay, I was okay, no TVs got hurt.
You were laughing.
Making them. Yeah. We were all laughing, so there was no harm, no foul. I literally thought there was no way in high holy hell that anybody was ever going to see this. And I'll tell you what, there's one person that you can thank, and it's because Mike Richards, who is not always able to be there for the show, happened to be there. That would have never.
I mean, let's be honest.
It would have
contractually.
Did you make a show?
It would have never. It would have never seen the light of day.
Yeah.
It would have never seen the light of day if Mike wouldn't have put it in.
I have a copy of that.
Oh, it was
so actually, I thank you, Mike,
because
you know what? It was really funny, and nobody got hurt, and it was really just.
And then we slow-moed it.
It was
so we didn't just do it once. We slow-moed it going to break.
But that's on you. That is absolutely on you.
It was fun.
Part.
It was genius.
Well, what was great was Kaylin was cool with it, because she wasn't hurt or angry or embarrassed. Because a lot of times stuff gets cut because people are like, I'm mortified, I'm going to get fired from my job if they see how klutzy I am.
I have to admit, I was embarrassed for maybe 10 seconds, but then I thought to myself, well, if it airs, oh well, what am I going to do? It's already happened. I can't turn back time and be like, oh, shoot, let me do it again. So,
Were you surprised that you fell? Do you fall a lot, or were you like, oh yeah, I fell?
Actually, I am very clumsy. So Honestly, I'm not surprised that I did fall. I'm surprised that I didn't slip on the stage in my flip-flops because they're kind of slippery already. So
Have you ever wound up in the lap of
floors.
like Ed McMahon or Shadow Stevens or anybody like that?
What was that?
So it's really just a rhetorical question.
Oh,
I just wanted to know if
I'm
there's any
sorry.
other host or announcer or anybody in a game show that you've ever tripped and fell into. I'm the first?
You're the first.
I knew it, baby. I knew it.
You'll always have that special time together, George. No one can take that away.
Well, it's good that you
George.
won
We shared a
things,
moment.
too.
Yeah, it does always make people a little happier to be somewhat embarrassed when they've won 5 pairs of designer shoes, a pair of paddle boards, and a 46-inch flat screen TV that you didn't bring,
Yes.
which
Yeah,
was
thank
good.
God.
Exactly, right?
What I need from you is when you get the actual TV, I need you to watch you falling on it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And then take a picture of you watching you fall.
yeah.
Because I think that's one of those
Yeah.
like full circle moments.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
so down with that, definitely.
Kaylin, you are so sweet. Thank you. Congratulations on winning, and congratulations
Thank you.
on
You
our
too,
favorite
Fame.
moment so far.
Yeah,
this
thank
season.
you for giving me that much joy. It was
you're
such a
welcome.
hoot, and you're such a
Anytime.
good sport, and I'm just so glad that we could then talk right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on. It was awesome.
Thanks, Kaylin.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
You know what it's time for now?
Oh.
It's time for the Beth story ever told. Ever told. Ever told. Ever told. Go ahead. What?
So I started volunteering this last weekend.
This is one of the millennial things, too, is that they've loved to volunteer.
Well, you know what? I started to feel like I'm thinking so much about myself because I feel like that
Because
industry
you're a
lends yours-
self-absorbed actor. Yeah.
But
That made Bisgrove laugh.
Shut up, Jen.
Really? My whole sounding board is if I can get Bisgrove to laugh, that's good.
So anyway, I've been wanting to volunteer at this place called the Gentle Barn for the last 2 years.
Is it about
Oh, I've
animals?
been there before.
Oh, you've been to the Gentle Barn?
Oh, no,
no,
different
that's a
place,
strip
different
club.
place, sorry.
No, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Man, I just got really excited because I thought George had been to the
It's
barn.
a topless but full bar, right?
No, the Gentle Barn.
Oh.
The Gentle Barn. Okay, anyway, so what they do is they take abused farm animals.
I'm sorry, Beth, we're out of time. What a great show. George Gray was here. He recovered from being sick. Kaylin Hallen, who was on you. Are you really helping?
Yeah.
Why not help humans?
Well, no, because I feel like animals don't have,
Does this have to do with
They
when
don't
you
have a
met-
voice.
Yeah,
I've
they
got your
don't
back
have
on
a
this
voice.
one.
They
I
don't
do.
have a
I got your
voice.
back on this one.
What?
Yeah, and we have made them
because
be a
you were
part
Bob
of
Barker?
our world when really they should have their own world too. You know what the Gentle Barn believes, and this is what I agree to, is that we all are equal. We just have different languages. That's what they said, and that's so true. I completely agree with
Are
that.
you saying that a ferret is your equal?
Yep.
I'm
actually saying that. Just Beth.
The ferret is.
So
he
if you're both hungry and there's some food that
Eat the ferret.
you should have to
It's
you
a-
should have
it's
to
like a-
share the food equally with the ferret.
Tastes a little like chicken.
Well, I would, by proportion, I feel like I should have more. 'cause
You
I'm
would eat
bigger.
the ferret and wear it as a coat.
I would not eat the ferret.
You're the same size as the ferret. So who gets more food?
That is true. That was not. That wasn't
wasn't
a
fair.
comparison.
The point was is that we're all the same. We
So
just
what do
have
they do?
different
They have
languages.
disadvantaged
Okay, so what
farm
they
animals.
take? No, they rescue animals from slaughter, and they also rescue like
Are they being
abused
slaughtered
like
for food
ranch
or
animals
just slaughtered
for food. They'll try to rescue like one or two like a month and blah blah blah. There's 170 animals on the farm. There's cows and
Where is it?
horses. North. It is north. About an hour.
Okay.
And they have 170 animals, and it's
They're gonna slaughter horses for food.
no, George, no. They rescue the horses. There's like an old abused movie horse there, and like some ranching horses, and a bunch of pigs and goats and turkeys and whatever. The point is that they do amazing stuff with these animals.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you can't wear leather, and you can't bring any sort of animal product on the farm. And
Well, what does that offend the animals?
well, yeah, because it's,
She just said yeah.
they were a
She
little,
just said yeah.
I mean, like there were times where like people would say like, "Oh, do you guys ever milk the cows?" And they'd be like, "No, because the cow's milk belongs to baby and no one else." Like they're like super vegan and that sort of thing. The crazy,
So they're a bunch of whack jobs.
I felt like they were a little bit more normal than whack jobs. Do you know what I mean?
No.
They,
The milk from a cow only belongs to the baby and no one else.
Yeah, just like
You're
human
abusing
milk.
its teats if you touch them.
Well, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And so that happened. But the point was, is what they do is
one of my favorite segments on the show used to be the Beth story ever told. And this is the most.
No, it's pretty cool. I like
hate
this.
it.
It's great.
Well, what happens is, so the thing is they have.
So do you
want
to come up to my dad's cattle ranch or not?
No, I don't. But that's the thing is, I needed a reference for volunteering.
Did you put me down?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
So
yes. Wait, but they didn't call me.
Oh, they're gonna call you. They're gonna
Shut
call you.
up.
Yeah, I had to put down my
So I'm like, oh no, she is so good with animals.
Yeah.
Whenever we are trying to castrate the baby cows and get them ready for slaughter, at
she's
the
the
meat
first
house,
one
she's
to
the first
eat
one.
the Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah,
First one
she's
up.
amazing. She loves. She'll pin them down, and actually, she'll just snip the balls right off. She's amazing. Is that what you want me to do?
I do not want you to do that.
Oh, okay.
I would more like you to talk about my character and how I don't eat meat, how I eat
unless
meat
it
and,
unless it financially gains you.
unless I
benefits
have
you.
to do a commercial. Yeah.
So can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that. I'm not ashamed.
Do you know the story, George?
What's that?
Where she auditioned for? I don't eat meat. You've been doing this since you were 12,
Yeah.
right? Which is
Right.
why you're short because you studied your growth because you didn't eat meat.
Of course.
And so she gets to her first audition
Yeah.
with a new manager is for like a chicken,
Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr. And the first thing she has to do is eat the Carl's Jr. nuggets, and she eats them.
And they make a big deal. They're like, if you don't eat meat, you got to leave this room right now. And I was
So
too
she's like-
nervous to call my agent and say,
I can't tell you how many times I've said that. in a
Yeah,
room, but
I'm
go on,
s-
really,
yeah.
seriously. Let's move on with this story.
This sounds really, really good.
Anyway, the point was is they do really cool things with the thing that I did get a little confused about with whack jobby sort of animal people was that these animals would come
When they
in,
call for a reference, should I say that you called them whack jobby
No.
and pull this sound and drop it for them?
is that they'll get like abused animals that have horrible behavioral problems and all that kind of stuff, but they cure them with like acupuncture and like whirlpool therapy and all that sort of thing. And then
which ferrets love.
and then-
They love a
and
good
I was sort of like,
whirlpool.
God, I've never even had acupuncture or whirlpool therapy. And then they're like, oh, here, come be with this cow. Like it's been beaten its whole life and it has
I'm picturing
issues,
a cow
but-
going around in a whirlpool.
Well, this is the,
Somebody just milk me? My God, my
Yeah.
udder
I
is
think
about to blow.
the funniest thing was is they dress the animals up. They all have little bows in their hair. And here's a picture. This
No,
is,
no. See, that's anti that because now you're dressing them up like humans. I
No,
know
they
that.
just have a
Bob
little
would not be
bow.
okay with that.
Do you see?
Let me see.
Like this is Buttercup, and she has a pink bow. But then
Well, wait a minute.
She looks
but what if
delicious.
Buttercup's a lesbian cow? That's unfair to put her in pink. Maybe that's just being
You
sexist
must
yourself.
Yeah.
maybe
There's
you're not
Buttercup.
thinking she's an equal.
You know what? That's just terrible.
Well, Beth, I am so glad.
so I hope that you get a call
I hope I do
from
too.
the Gentle Barn, and I
Yes.
hope that you give me a good reference.
I will give them an honest assessment of how I think you are.
Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
think that should be good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the funniest thing about this, real quick though, is do you see I sent this picture of Buttercup with a bow to my mom, and my mom wrote back, cute, be careful, cows kill. XOXO. And I just thought, wow.
I love your mom. She is so
Buttercup's
worried.
out for blood.
She's so worried about you at all times.
know.
She was worried that Beth had to stand too long and thought that was. She's like, how long are they making you stand, darling?
She would, especially here. She'd be like, "Oh, do you have to walk a lot between the bungalow and stage?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I do."
That Mike Richards he's a slave driver. Oftentimes, I have to walk 2 to 3 blocks.
I know.
Well, Beth, I don't support this at all, and I think
Okay,
you know that.
Yeah, that's why I wanted them
Can
to
I ask
call
one
you.
quick question? Why do you need a reference to volunteer?
Well, because they don't want some crazies like with the animals.
Because they're already there working at it.
I mean, you know that I'm responsible. That I'll show up. You know what I mean. That I will be kind to the animals.
That you know where it is, other than it's north. Great, Beth. Fantastic. So you've got the nut business and the
Yeah.
Gentle Barn.
Yeah.
I think this is straight to the top. I think
think
things
it
are going
is,
great.
too.
George Gray, thank you so much for being on. You need to go announce the Price is Right now. It's time.
Otherwise, my boss is going to yell at me.
Well, Adam will. He's so
Who?
mean.
Oh, he.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for the great moment with Kaylin.
I would love to come back anytime.
You are
I love
come.
doing
You are a
this.
regular
I love
contributor
doing
to the
this.
Random Show now. Maybe you could
And
be the
thank you,
co-host.
and thank you again for having the Kaylin bit in the show.
Yeah, it was
because
great.
That was just genius.
Yeah, and it was not my idea to slow mo it. I believe that was Adam Sandler's. That was the director. That was fantastic.
That was
yeah?
generous
Yeah.
of you, Mike.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. He's like, I'm going to slow mo it. I was like,
I approve.
You're damn right you are.
I approve.
Beth,
Yep.
I feel like you're going to need this. Good luck. That was Random.